Let's go. Eric Weinstein on Untriggered podcast, which is something that I never thought I would be saying.
Yeah. In this reality, I would not have thought someone of your caliber is sitting down with someone
Yeah. We're pulling out the big words.
We're sitting down with a geometer.
Yeah.
And I have gotten 0 in geometry. That is my feat. Like, no one in my school has ever gotten this.
And this is the earliest we've ever woken up to do a podcast.
We usually
More
don't
or
do
less
it
the
this
same
early.
for me. I don't know how to get up at this hour.
Okay, then why have you doing
why did we do this so early in the morning then?
Because I'm so there's I guess I'm phobic about the north of Bombay, so I don't know really where Andheri and Bandra begin and end.
Okay.
So we're like, let's just get it out of the way.
Let's get it out of the way.
Okay, fully valid.
First thing in the morning.
Yeah, I'm like fully locked in. I'm chewing gum that has caffeine in it.
God damn, bro.
Yeah, this is the most prep I've done for a podcast. Are you a caffeine guy?
Yeah, very much.
Yeah, do you start your day with coffee?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's very interesting, first of all, that we have culture around a very small number of drugs. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
So alcohol, caffeine, nicotine, we have culture. So you can say, let's go for a drink, let's have a smoke.
Yeah.
Let's get a cup of coffee. But if you say, like, hey, do you want to get some white drugs or red drugs? Suddenly it feels very different. And so the weird thing is that different psychoactive substances have had traditionally different cultures. And so you're taking the Persian angle that opium was a gentleman's drug after dinner.
Yeah, it's just casual.
Yeah.
It's like post-dinner opium sesh.
Exactly. So I don't know how to start my day with opium, so I just get a cup of coffee.
Coffee?
Yeah.
What do you do about the crash?
What crash?
There's this caffeine crash that you get, no?
Not if you keep drinking it. Yeah, I drink so much coffee.
How many cups a day? Like, what is the...
I could easily lose track.
Oh.
And have like 6 cups.
6?
And this is a black coffee.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, because, when if you're doing math, geometry in particular, you're just constantly not thinking about your surroundings.
Right.
Okay. So you just completely lose track of the world, and then you realize, why am I so jittery?
Yeah.
You think
I found that taking L-theanine with coffee helps with the crash and the jitters.
What is this?
There's this, it's a supplement called L-theanine, and it slows down the crash. So the gum that I'm chewing right now, it's got caffeine and L-theanine, so it's like it gives you the boost and the focus that you need. It's pretty good, actually.
I got my friend Melissa Chen on the Rogan program.
Yeah.
And she started just drinking these Bang energy drinks that he was in, 1, 2, and suddenly she starts having like a heart attack on air.
Oh my
she
God.
just lost. So then, she strips off her jacket. She's a very attractive woman, and she's got these bare arms, and the ratings went way up. But it was very dramatic that she basically was going into some sort of arrhythmia from this energy.
I mean, I heard about this gum on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's called Neurogum, and he spoke about it on
Neurogum.
Yeah.
I worry about the supplements thing, because when you do podcasting, they're one of the most reliable offers of income.
Yeah.
Right.
But do we really know what's in these things?
I mean, supplements, people have started supplementing a lot now. I just got a blood work done, and I'm heavily deficient in vitamin D. So...
but I think they tell that to all of us.
I mean, I don't know.
But I guess we all are deficient in vitamin D.
We don't leave the house as much.
We don't leave the house that much.
So we're not getting sun.
We're not getting any sun at all.
Yeah.
Today was probably the first time I got some sun at 8 in the morning. And it felt so good.
Yeah.
Just get some sun.
What does a day in your life look like?
I don't know. They're all different.
Okay.
But, right now we're just adjusting for the fact that our 2 kids have more or less left the nest. Mm-hmm. So we're trying to figure out, should we buy a disco ball and turn it into Party Central, or what should we do?
Right.
So in part, it's like we're at a different stage in our lives, and so I'm watching you guys having the time of your life in a group house, and I'm thinking, this is what is eating our children and changing our lives, because I think we weren't done with them yet.
They're in college now?
One is finishing law school, and one is a junior in college. Yeah.
Okay. Did you party a lot when you were in college?
What do you mean? No? No? Thank you so much. No, I didn't. I was pretty much...
Thank you.
I was pretty much balls to the wall, mathematics and physics.
Okay.
And actually, I came to India to party back then.
When was this?
85 was the first time I was here. So I've been coming for 40 years.
Okay. What was India like in 85?
Oh, my God. I mean, look, it was much more ordered and subdued.
Okay.
And so it was much more regimented.
Mm-hmm.
But that also meant that the underground scene was really intense and very, very fun.
Which cities did you visit at that time?
Well, way back in the day, first trip, Bombay, and then around that Karjat and Kihim, near Alibag, and then down in Goa, over to Chennai, Pondicherry, and the madness of Auroville.
Oh, wow, okay.
And then was up in Agra and Srinagar, passed through Bangalore. So it just changed my life. I mean, completely rocked my world.
Yeah, I can imagine, like, especially back in 85, because I came to India in 2004, and it was still very different than what it is now. And
well, it's a moving target, and that's one of the things that I think I worry about, is that I'm plugged into an older India. And it's one of the reasons I'm excited to do your podcast, is that, boy, do I hear about a lot of change. And change that we sort of inconceivable from the perspective of the West.
yeah.
And so, you know, you guys seem like very well-mannered young men who are very badly behaved.
We're good actors.
Yeah, I mean...
In which direction?
No, but that is the case with most of New India. It's that we've had access to information that maybe people before us didn't have, and access to culture. Everyone's like grown up watching movies from the West, so everyone's like kind of tuned in what's happening in the world. And I think this is the first Indian generation that is like all in, like they know everything about the world.
Such as, what do you think that they didn't know in the 80s?
I mean, I'm assuming you didn't have social media, so not every second of, like, you probably wouldn't know what's happening in the US. I wouldn't know if there's like someone's gone on Andrew Schulz's podcast, and then there's
But that's such noise.
yeah, but then
I mean, in other words, like, none of us would have known about the Hawk Tuah girl,
Yeah.
right?
Probably.
It would have taken a while for it to come to India.
But what
It
is
would never come to
it wouldn't
India.
make the
It would-
newspapers.
yeah.
what is that? It's nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, she's very nice and she's fun, but like, we're getting swept up in nonsense.
Yeah.
True.
And so my question is, are we really informed about each other's lives, or are we consuming this ridiculous surface area and not actually getting down into what the heck is going on?
So would you say we're more distracted than ever? Like,
Holy cow, yeah.
Arguably, yeah.
Yeah, and it means that we're not having... Well, look, the weird thing is that long-form podcasting is the thing that goes in the other direction. So I keep hearing, okay, modern attention spans, you can't sit still for 20 seconds.
yeah,
And then somebody comes to you and says, I'm on my fourth listening of your Rogan podcast, which was like 3.5 hours long.
yeah.
And I'm thinking, wait, you're in your third, fourth listening of a 3 hour, that's insane.
Yeah.
And so I think that what's happening is the barbell effect. We're both getting very, very focused on things we really care about, and constantly distracted by everything.
Right.
And, you know, again, one of the things I find fascinating is what has any longevity. You guys have been doing this for like, what, 5 years?
Five
Close
years.
to 5.
That's long in podcast space. And so whatever it is, you're having to renew yourself.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious as to how are you guys surviving?
So we started doing this when we were in Pune, and we would shoot out of my living room, and it was just 4 friends talking about what is happening in the world or what is happening in our lives. And now it's It's very interesting for us because we are seeing ourselves grow up through this podcast. So you can go back and look at any episode and be like, okay, this is what I was feeling and this is what I was thinking about during that time of my life. And the things that we've spoken about have changed. We've also evolved to have, like, we have someone like you on the podcast, which is something that we'd never thought, like.
I don't think anyone knows who I am over here.
Let's do a quick introduction.
Well, of course they know who you
How would
are.
you introduce yourself to, like, a bunch of, like, Indian kids in college who are watching this right now?
I'm a math guy. I don't know. I guess we went through some very strange stuff in the mid 20-teens, and I've sort of avoided becoming better known successfully at previous times, and then I ended up, there's the Tim Ferriss hot tub story. You guys know Tim Ferriss?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't really know much about Tim's podcasting life, and in 2016 or so, we were just in a hot tub, and I don't really do the bro thing, but I was trying to do the bro thing. And he's like, dude, we should totally podcast. And so, I looked at him and I tried to put on my best bro voice. Dude, totally. We should podcast. It's like, all right, we should do it before I go to the airport tomorrow. I was like, totally. So he's like, serious? I didn't know really what a podcast was.
Yeah.
So I came over the next day and he hands me a microphone and he's like literally packing for the airport on his kitchen table, asking me questions. I'm just talking into a microphone, and I didn't think anything of it. And then the next day, I'd given. Okay, I'm obsessed with Kung Fu Panda.
Okay.
Completely obsessed. And I'd given my whole analysis, like I was a literary theorist about the depth of Kung Fu Panda. And I see this thing on what was then Twitter, and it says, amazing analysis of Kung Fu Panda by Eric Weinstein. I wish we had had it while we were writing it. And I was just blown away. This guy, Glenn Berger, went on Twitter for the first time just to interact because he'd heard this thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that blew my mind because I didn't have any way of reaching such people. And and it's been great for me. So more or less, it's a bit odd, the question, because I don't have a book.
Yeah.
I'm not doing my podcast. I'm not doing anything that would normally plug me into this scene. I just sort of opine about things. And so long as people find that interesting, I've been fortunate or unfortunate to be on some of the bigger shows in the world.
Yeah.
And I think one of my beliefs is that most of us have a very interesting story, but very few of us are willing to share our actual thoughts because it takes skill and it's hard not to hurt yourself being real.
Yeah, that's something I've realized through doing this is like sometimes you might have an opinion or you might have a thought and you're like, okay, you know what, today on this episode we're going to be talking about this and this is my opinion that I've thought of and I'm going to come and present it. And when you come here and do it, it just doesn't sound like
something sounded good in your head, and
Yeah.
then you're stuck with it for 5 years. Everybody laughs at you, right?
Yeah.
But on the other hand, the thing that you... All right, so I have my standard anti-homosexual riff, which is the homosexuals have monopolized the closet. We all have closets, and why they get to make being closeted about being gay, particularly when nobody much cares in the States anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
Because your parents say, okay, you're gay as long as I get grandchildren. I'm cool with it. I think that most of us are in a closet about all sorts of things. And the only thing people want to hear is what is that voice that you're afraid to give voice to.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the primary reasons of us starting this was because we thought that there's so many things that we talk about in private which we think are interesting, and we know other people are talking about the same things in their circles, but no one is saying it out loud. And that's when
some of those things should stay in private.
That's
That's
something
what we've learned with time. we made our mistakes.
All right, like 2
We
years
said
ago.
it out loud.
I'm an open book. I have nothing to hide, and then you find out where that
then
train goes.
10 minutes after the episode goes live, you get a message saying, "Why would you say that?"
About me.
About me
About me.
from your uncle.
But it is also important to say some of those things and learn for yourself that, okay, maybe I shouldn't have said that.
Well, if you're skillful about it,
Yeah.
then you keep people from feeling isolated, right? I mean, some of your best moments are when you say something that everyone is having internally that no one dares say, and suddenly you
Yeah.
get this eruption of, wait, you're thinking the same thing too?
Yeah.
And it's a very odd moment when that happens.
Yeah, and then you become the guy who's like voiced that opinion. I mean, that's
Got to be skillful.
yeah. I think that's one of the things Joe Rogan is great at, where he like talks about things that people are like, yeah, like why isn't anyone saying what he's saying?
Yeah, I've once or twice been in the hot seat with Joe where he said something. I don't know how to respond.
Yeah, he does go off on tangents sometimes, where it's just like,
Yeah, but sometimes very personal stuff. Like one of the things that Joe has said to me is, you, Eric, should go back to my earliest episodes and see that it's just me making fart jokes into a webcam.
yeah.
And that's the genesis of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, or sponsored by Fleshlight or something
Yeah.
ridiculous. And so then you build this institution out of madness and
Yeah.
out of extremely raunchy, ridiculous, like bad stuff.
Yeah.
And he's built it into something that's amazing and great and wonderful. Even if there are episodes where sometimes I'll text him like, really?
But I mean, when you do over 2,000 episodes, like there are going to be episodes where you're like, okay.
Sure, you're going to have your highs and your lows.
Yeah.
The thing about Joe that people just don't understand, I think, is it takes I think Dolly Parton was the one who said it takes a lot of money to look this cheap. It takes a lot of genius to look that ordinary.
Yeah.
That's true.
I was just gonna ask you about that. Like, if you having spent time with him and have had like 4-hour-long conversations with him, his whole thing is, he's just a comedian and he keeps saying I'm a moron. I don't know what I'm talking about. But,
Yeah, sure.
But like, isn't he knows everything? Like, he knows something about everything.
He's extraordinarily broad. He's very fast on recall. He has moves that you and I can only dream of, and he doesn't let you know that he even has them.
Yeah, like I've seen breakdowns on YouTube about his personality and how he forms his questions.
Nobody's cracked the code.
And so many people try to replicate it. I think when I started this podcast, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna have people on and talk to them one by one. I did 2 episodes, and then I was like, okay, this is not happening. Then I started calling my friends, and I was like, let's do it together.
Well, one thing is that his ego is differently constructed than almost anyone else's you've ever met.
In what sense?
So imagine, so you've got a really good point. You've got a fantastic insight. And your guest sits down. Most of us are going to try to steer the guest and then make our really good point.
Yeah.
Joe will have the guest sit down, steer the guest, and serve it up to the guest so that the guest seems to be a genius.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who does that?
It's a layup.
Well, yeah. It's, Larry Bird is a pretty good analogy that both one of the best shooters in the league, but also the guy who can pass and make everyone around him better.
Yeah.
And the only people that it really doesn't work with is people who have some sort of an ego problem who bring it to the studio, and that can be a disaster. But if you're basically a decent person and you're not grinding an agenda or being too transactional, Joe is going to make you the best version of you. He's going to try to make you look good.
Yeah.
And most of us just don't have enough material and enough generosity of spirit and enough egolessness. And I think the idea is that he's very well compensated, he's very successful, doesn't need to prove anything. And most people, when they become that, you know, if you just like watch him deal with waiters and things, he's a prince.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no ego. All the ego went away, I think, after the first 2 DMT trips.
Do you think it's that? Because I don't agree with this. I don't agree with this. All sorts of people in Silicon Valley disappear to Peru for a while, you know. Like,
it's customary. After becoming a millionaire, you go to Peru and.
I think you need to make more than $1 million to be allowed into Peru. I don't know. I don't know. But I think a lot of people are not ready for shamanic insight.
Yeah.
And so they expose themselves to the chemicals, to the rituals, which aren't theirs. They're not, you know, deeply enmeshed in a culture. And they receive way too much information
that they're not ready for.
And so, you know, my feeling is that whatever Joe's doing, he's processed it well.
Yeah.
And in part this, you know, just in terms of illegal drugs, part of the problem with illegal drugs is that there isn't control of the substances, some sort of understanding about the integration of insight that comes from these things. And so, you know, it's sort of home brewed.
Yeah.
Whatever Joe's doing works. At some point, my recollection is I ran into Keith Richards at a spice market in New York City, and he looked like death. And somebody had asked him, "What is your secret? You know, you look like death, but here you are. You're still playing guitar. You're still walking around." He said, "You have to buy really good drugs. Don't waste money on bad drugs."
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know where Joe gets his DMT, but it's working for him.
We watched Guns N' Roses live earlier this year. They were playing Bombay. They did a show in Bombay.
Yeah.
I think 20,000, 30,000.
Who was the guitarist?
Slash.
Oh, okay. He wasn't the Buckethead.
No. Slash does wear a
Slash is the Buckethead.
No, Buckethead is a different guy.
Okay. But he does wear that
the
hat.
KFC. No,
Okay.
Slash wears the top hat.
Yeah, the top hat.
Yeah, the other guy wears a
Okay.
You know about Buckethead?
He actually wears a lot of bucket hats.
He's talking about
Buckethead.
Head, sorry.
Okay, anyway, Axl Rose was on stage for 3 hours, and he had all the energy in the world, and I think he knows where to.
He knows where. So I was in elementary school with Slash.
Really?
Yeah, when he was Saul Hudson.
Okay.
My recollection was he was this British black Jewish kid, which was pretty confusing.
Yeah, it is.
And he was like super smart and kind of a delinquent. And I skipped a grade, so I skipped out of his year, but I was always sort of afraid that he would steal my bicycle or something like that. And he used to hang out with Mark Canner, famously at Canner's Delicatessen. So anyway, at some point I was in Vegas, and I saw that he was like, I tried to make contact with him and failed. But it's sort of weird that that's the guy who is the most successful product of 3rd Street Elementary in Los Angeles.
Yeah, I mean, so when we were at the concert, I mean, we are a bit too young to have grown up during Guns N' Roses. We know a couple of songs.
And I'm way too old, but go on.
Yeah, but then we just knew that Guns N' Roses is an iconic band, and if they come to your city, you go watch them. And we saw Slash do his guitar solos in every song. Yeah. And like there was this energy within those 20,000 people. Like it was almost hypnotic.
Oh, wow.
And I look at these boys and I say, you realize you're looking at someone do something that they're probably one of the best to ever do, and you're seeing that happen right in front of you.
You're saying that the Guns N' Roses band?
No, just Slash with the guitar.
Slash.
With the guitar. I was like, he's probably one of the best to ever do this activity that you're like witnessing right now, and that's what's causing this energy. Like you could look at people just like mesmerized.
Yeah, people were crying. Like all these adults that we were seeing, all these people in their 30s, 40s.
Yeah, even older than that.
Just standing, looking at it and crying, like just admiring.
For them, it's like a part of their life that you're just seeing over there.
It's funny because they're sort of after my time.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys know what your time was? Are you still in your time?
I feel like we're past.
Really? You feel
I
your
think
expiry date?
2010s was like our time.
2010s and 2000s, like that's when we started listening to English music.
All right. So, what are the groups or bands that you would say are gonna, when you're in your rocker, you're gonna say, "Oh, I remember that."
Linkin Park.
That's a big one.
Yeah, Linkin Park, Green Day.
Green Day is a
Like-
little too old for you guys.
Not really.
No. Green
No?
Day is
Their sound came to India around then.
Oh,
for
okay, I
us.
see.
even Coldplay. I feel like a lot of
Yeah.
people.
I'd say like an Eminem really inspired our youth.
Akon.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like around the time. That's the Bluetooth era, we call it, because that's when
We have.
that's how you
Bluetooth.
shared music.
I see.
Like someone would get a bunch of songs on their phone and they would send it to everyone else. Like you'd have to sit there for 20 minutes until the transfer
You would
is
stand
done.
in the school hallway and be like, "Bro, you want some music?"
Really?
Yeah.
I remember the first time I saw Indian rap
Yeah.
in a Hindi film with Jackie Shroff.
Okay.
Amma Dekh. You remember the song?
Ab mat dekh.
Oh,
Amma Dekh, Dekh, Darwinder Bigra Jai.
You know the song? What is
No?
wrong with you? It's such an iconic song. yeah.
And then
That's close
it
to
goes
rap.
into English, and it's like it's very funny because you see how this other culture is seeing you. It's like, hey mom, hey dad, don't moan and groan. Why don't you learn to live with the times and please leave us alone? Hey, he goes, what kind of a man would spend his life like a jack of all trades, master of none, boogie woogie, reggae, rap, raga, rock and roll, and bhangra? You know? And I remember thinking, this is such a bad rap.
Yeah.
But it's this image of how the U.S. is going to ruin Indian youth.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of that happening now. Like Indian hip hop has fully taken off. It's like Indian hip hop is a thing.
Yeah.
And like there's rappers and there's like rivalries where they're like
Diss tracks.
Yeah, they're dissing each other. There's in the scientific community also there's a lot of hip hop that
In the scientific community of India.
not in India.
Okay.
Just like I'm sure there's scientists who like they have this theory and then the other person is trying to prove them wrong.
And they have rap battles to figure out who's right.
I mean that would be the best way to do it, I think.
When they publish a paper, are they dissing each other? Is that
Well, yeah, but it doesn't
Subliminal.
Is there a message?
You can't dance to it. That's the problem. No, I mean, look. You ever see this thing like rap battles of history?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We used to watch that growing up.
Yeah, so that was always very funny to me when they do two scientists against each other, or two economists.
Who would you say is the goat? the science.
The science goat.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Who's the Eminem of science?
Well, we don't really have one.
Some people would say like Newton was.
Sure, in mathematical physics world, I think that's one of the few places where everyone has it. I've never heard somebody really smart go up against Newton. Now, with that said, I just got back from Kerala.
Okay.
And people don't recognize that Kerala has a claim potentially on being the first to the calculus in religious verse because of the Kerala School of Astronomy and Mathematics.
Okay.
In the north of the state, so north of Kochi, and that was done in religious verse, I guess in Malayalam. I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would say that that's a fair point about Newton. I would say that the greatest of recent times, rather the Gort, in mathematics would probably be a guy named Alexander Grothendieck.
Okay.
Hard to say in biology. So we just lost Jim Watson, and if you want to talk about politically incorrect, I'm a huge Jim Watson fan. I knew Jim a bit, so he.
Can you tell us more about Jim Watson?
Yeah, he in '53 he must have been like a 23-year-old guy or something like that, and he figured out, along with Francis Crick, the three-dimensional structure of DNA as a double helix.
Right.
And then he wrote this book called The Double Helix, which is one of the greatest works of literature of the 20th century. So you have a guy basically doing this permanent thing, being the first to the three-dimensional structure of DNA, and writing one of the great books of all time. He was a complete ass. No, he just was.
Like as a person?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he would say things like, he would talk about IQ and race.
Yeah.
And you're not supposed to notice that breeding has anything to do with cognitive ability.
Okay.
So, we all agree to get that wrong so that we don't have madness result. And he couldn't take that. He also wasn't able to deal with fictions that male and female distributions were exactly coincident. And as he started to say these things, thinking, I'm a scientist, why did I become a scientist if I can't speak the truth?
Right.
He got crazier and crazier and crazier. And it was terrible because, my quote about it is that the legacy of Jim Watson is far too important to be left to Jim Watson. So he was just constantly saying things that he shouldn't, getting himself into trouble. And it wasn't that he was wrong about all of these things. It was just that it was just inappropriate.
Yeah.
But I loved him. I felt very strongly that he was one of the only people to talk about the difference between good science and great science. And the idea, in my mind, I always say it this way, is that you don't get great science by taking good science and turning it up to 11. Great science is something completely different. It's much closer to madness, where you allow your mind to think things that really can't be justified easily.
You have to dare to even
you have to make
consider.
A famous example of this was that both of the teams that were in the lead for the three-dimensional structure of DNA announced a triple helix, but completely inverted, where the sugar phosphate is in the center and the vulnerable nucleotides are pointing out. So for some reason, that model occurred to the Caltech group and also occurred to the Cavendish Lab group. And these guys called all of their colleagues in to look at this model they'd built, which was just wrong. And they were humiliated. So whenever you get humiliated, you have to think about the fact that a lot of the greatest people ever went through humiliation that no one else could take. That's part of greatness, is just making an ass out of yourself.
I mean, the mad scientist archetype exists for a reason, right? Because it's just when it comes to really smart people who dare to have these thoughts and come up with these things and then try to justify it and prove it, and when no one else understands what you're trying to say, it's going to annoy you and drive you a bit crazy until you've convinced people, and by the time you've done that, it's too late.
Well, even then, I don't think I don't think you live to be fully exonerated. Once you've demonstrated that you're not going to follow the crowd, you're never really trusted by the crowd, because they know that you could break with the crowd at any moment. So it's only when you're dead that you get elevated to saint status.
Yeah.
But, if you think about, I don't know, it's also interesting the way India deals with madness differently than other cultures, and eccentricity. And I think that might be changing, but it used to be the case that we would make huge excuses for people that I knew in India. And just like that person's eccentric, so that you don't have to say something about mental health.
Right.
Oh, okay.
But I feel really smart people do tend to have issues, and that's the reason why. And like, I'm
example?
No, I'm not giving it. I don't know. I don't have an example. But I feel like at least that's what we were told growing up.
Well, Elon, for example, is neurodivergent.
Correct.
And more or less my entire world is neurodivergent. I don't really want to deal with people who aren't neurodivergent. And that's hard because people don't understand it. They just view it as,
What is neurodivergent? Like, how does that look like how does it manifest itself in a person?
Like you have things in childhood development. One thing that has now been identified is called asynchronous development.
Okay.
Which means that you don't develop your abilities in the same order that somebody else does. So maybe by the time you get to be 25, everything is in place.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what happens if you're reading at a high school level at age 4,
Right.
but you're not verbal? So you've got some kid who's super smart, and literally for not verbal, we use the word dumb.
Yeah. Yeah.
Isn't that funny, right?
Yeah.
He just can't say what he thinks, but he's really smart.
Right.
Wow,
He just
yeah.
can't.
Well, imagine you were really
Yeah.
good at mathematics, and we called that puggle. You know, it's just like it's a terrible insult coupled to some positive trait that somebody might be so interior that they're thinking amazing and brilliant thoughts, and they just don't speak. So, I guess I'm interested in dyslexia, dysgraphia, and various cognitive differences, and that's. You know, if you ask me, do you relate to being an American? Do you relate to being Jewish? Do you relate to any one of these things? The thing I relate to most is probably neurodivergence and just being in school and hating my teachers. Hating my teachers completely.
Why?
I viewed them as torturers.
Okay.
They were just bad. And, you know, you don't have the presence of mind when you're a kid either to realize that it's okay to think that all of your teachers are bad, nor do you have an idea of why this is it's a strange thing to say, right? And the answer is that they're trained to handle 20 kids at a time. And if you've got 20 kids who are, 19 kids who are going in one direction and one guy who's wandering off there, that teacher is eventually just going to get angry.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, school is torture for the neurodivergent.
In India, it's not 20, it's usually 40 to 50.
Yeah.
I think we had 40 kids
Like a
in my
classroom
class.
will be filled with 50
And I
or 60
remember
kids.
thinking all my teachers are bad when I was in school.
Maybe true.
Because there were some exceptions. Like we had this biology teacher who is probably one of the best teachers in the world. Like he would come into the class and the energy would shift. I'll say his name also, Gopi sir. Like
This is in Pune?
yeah, he made me love biology to an extent where I wanted to go to medical school and become a doctor.
Did you?
No.
Here we are.
Not that much.
No, I mean, there were different reasons for me not choosing to do that, but for the longest time, like, I think he taught us from 7th grade to 10th grade, and it was just like people would look forward to his lectures.
So it's wonderful.
Yeah.
And I wish I'd had that experience.
But that's when I realized how much of a difference a good teacher can make. I used to think if we had this for every other subject, like school would be so much more fun. I would be learning so much more. And with him, it was like you wanted to do well in his subject. Like you wanted to kind of make him proud. Because you were like, he's so good at what he does, and I enjoy, like, I feel like I'm letting him down if I don't do well on my exams.
So one of the things that's fascinating to me is that India produces some great thinkers, but the school system is not well suited to them.
Yeah.
So this whole concept of mugging, and just like learning by rote and regurgitating and giving the teacher what they want and cheating. Should we say that there's also a culture of cheating?
Yeah.
I think that's really unfortunate. And then you've got this very bizarre thing, which is, I guess, Nehru's theory of tertiary education, which is that you've got so many people, you can afford to say screw it to primary and secondary because something is going to survive, and you send it to IIT or to the States, and that's a very strange thing. But on the other hand, okay, you've got an advanced nuclear program. One of my favorite place in all of Bombay is TIFR.
Okay.
It's it's nicer than the Willingdon Club for sure, and it's this beautiful testament to India's faith in science. That I guess built by the Tatas, maybe, and right at the beginning of the nuclear era, around the time that the U.S. exploded the hydrogen bomb, and I really wish India would expand a little bit from its totally outstanding IITs to just go for it and actually try to do something, take on the world, not trying to catch up, but leapfrog it, go past.
I mean, with the education system and how the schools are, like you said, it doesn't really encourage thinking. Like, if you're someone who has original thoughts and you want, like, you're usually discouraged from, like, doing your own thing. In mathematics in school, if there is a theory or if there is a problem that I'm supposed to solve, if I come up with my own way of solving it and getting to the answer quicker or easier, it's looked down upon. Because you're not following the method that was taught to you by your teacher, who you're supposed to respect.
So let's get somebody with a few rupees to rub together and create a school for weirdos and freaks.
I think there's better schooling systems now. Like, there's different, there's alternate education, like with international schools. I think it's different. But like in the traditional school system, which is, I think, still the British curriculum in most places, it's just like, listen to what the teacher says, don't question it.
It's just very antiquated. Like, you're being marked on steps that you...
You guys are really good at producing gurus and cults.
True.
Do an education cult. Do an education cult of the neurodivergence and live this crazy world of Hogwarts and the X-Men Academy and just go after your mutants. Do you know how many mutants there are in this country? Huge numbers of mutants.
I'm pretty sure,
Yeah. So my feeling is that India should weaponize its mutants for science.
Have like a whole Avengers.
What?
Have like the Avengers of...
Yeah. With cool outfits and lasers.
Yeah, because there's so many people who like eventually realize I'm too smart for this. And then they're like, okay, but this education system here isn't going to encourage that. So they leave the country and then they go to countries where that is appreciated. And then they end up running
our companies.
Yeah.
Why?
That's what, like the best, like the smartest and the best are leaving the country.
Really?
Yeah. Because it's like, I'm not appreciated here, or like, I'm going to make so much more money when I go abroad. And like...
You're butthurt over Priyanka Chopra, aren't you?
Priyanka has a different story. Like, there's theories as to why she like left India.
Really?
We should. We can get
like conspiracy theories.
There are conspiracy theories.
All right, gentlemen, let's settle down.
We're going into conspiracy mode now.
Yeah, I think you can.
Priyanka, I'm sorry I brought this up with these ne'er-do-wells.
I think you can discuss Priyanka Chopra. Well, like, what world are we living in when you can't do Bollywood conspiracy theories anymore and just be like scared of, what if Priyanka gets upset? Like,
what? She'll shut this thing down.
She'll probably not come on the show. Then
she won't come on the show.
Yeah.
No, I think she needs to come on the show to clear the air.
If you really want to know, there was this rumor going around that Priyanka Chopra and Shah Rukh Khan had a thing. And then Shah Rukh Khan's wife didn't like it, so...
Oh, is that right?
She kind of ousted her from
so she got like kind of exiled from the industry.
Wow, I didn't
that was the conspiracy theory.
Yeah, we've taught you something here today.
I'm still... I'm still stuck on DDLJ.
DDLJ is an iconic film.
It is such a good film.
It's great. It's really long, but a lot of fun, I think.
Although he can't play the mandolin to save his life.
Yeah. He can do this, though.
Right? Yeah.
To save his life.
That will save a million lives.
No, but I saw... I'm a mandolin enthusiast.
Okay.
And then I saw him, like, at the 30th anniversary or something of DDLJ, and... he had a mandolin and he couldn't play it. I was really hurt. Because you remember he does this scene where he's playing the piano.
Yeah.
And I thought that he's such a talented guy that at least he'd learn the mandolin. And by the way, I believe that the mandolin was introduced by Jews into Bollywood.
Okay. How?
To Bollywood?
Yeah.
How was that?
Well, there was an early Jewish presence in Bollywood.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that the mandolin somehow came through our community.
Snuck its way.
Yeah, snuck its way in. And, you know, of course, India being India, you just throw in everything to make things spicier and more fun. And so anyway, I just loved the fact that it also, not only did it have great songs, a great story, and amazing scenery, but I also love that it just featured this mandolin in a really prominent way.
Did you watch a lot of Bollywood movies?
No.
No, not at all.
No, I wouldn't say not at all, but I'm stuck. I would say that's the most modern Bollywood film I've probably... Bollywood started changing a little bit.
Yeah.
So I like the old, terrible, ridiculous formulas.
Right.
I think at some moment my wife was watching Doom 2.
Yeah.
Right.
And I thought, this is pretty close to Hollywood.
Yeah.
And I don't need that.
You have that.
I have that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, well, look, to say something really controversial, I was not part of the Lata army at all.
Okay.
I did not
Okay.
understand India's devotion to that voice. I agree it was skilled,
Yeah.
very, very, a great musician, but it was too high pitched, and it was,
Yeah.
and it just defined everything. So.
Yeah, my grandmom's going to be pissed.
You see?
Yeah.
I know a couple ways to get Indians going.
If she ever watches this, she's going to be
Yeah.
pissed.
Show this to her.
What does this Gora know about? Yeah. For sure. But the other one, if we really want to get into
Yeah.
it, is mangoes.
Mm.
You want to
Don't
start?
like-
You want to start?
You
No,
don't like mango?
no. It's which one?
Oh, which one?
Okay.
And it's just very funny. If you ever, if you're being threatened by a group of Indians and you need to create a distraction so you can create an escape, you just say, whatever one particular mango is, and then watch them fight it out. They lose all track of reality.
You've done this before?
Yeah, well, it's funny because they don't realize what's going on.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
look, I wanted to do mango tours of India.
Okay.
Time it so that things are exactly
Season.
right, because
Yeah.
it really is seasonal. And I don't. Well, okay, do you know about our mango problem?
No.
Okay. I think in 1928, Florida invented the world's worst mango. This thing is so horrible, you can't even believe it. It's called Tommy Atkins.
Okay.
And, I know that back in my country, they're going to say, Eric, I thought you were America first. But no, we have terrible mangoes. And the reason that Florida introduced this mango is that it's shelf stable, so it lasts forever. It's beautiful. So really rich color, and it's huge. And that's all that can be said for it. You open it up, and it's like barely flavored dental floss that gets between your teeth. It's inedible. And so we, in general, did not get really good mangoes.
Yeah.
The UK does. They get pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
And then George W. Bush said we could have Alfonso, but we have to irradiate it.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't think Americans understand the importance of the mango, because we're not raised on great mango.
Yeah. And it's such a unique fruit. There's no other fruit that's like it. With watermelons, you're like, oh, there's melons, and there's you can group papaya, watermelon, muskmelon in the same group.
Different apples also.
Yeah, and there's apples and everything kind of.
Okay,
There's
but
different
keep
berries.
going.
But then mangoes is just the
One
flavor
of
to
one.
it is just too unique to.
Well, which one?
We have a lot of different mangoes.
I know.
Yeah, he knows. He wants
So
to do an India
the
tour.
Alfonso is the most. Okay, it's reliable. You can
Well,
go.
we're in Maharashtra right
Yeah.
now, so
Yeah.
you're repping the home team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's this other variant also called, I think, Kesari. Kesari. Kesari also I like.
I think I'm on the
I'm team Alfonso.
You're team Alfonso.
Yeah.
You're the
Sure.
basic.
You don't think it's too sickly sweet sometimes?
Sometimes, some of them are.
Yeah.
I feel like you want to have sweet mango, right? I feel like that's the whole point.
Yeah.
No, but
Of
sometimes it's
mango.
really sweet.
I like really sweet.
I also like the green unripe.
Kairi.
Yeah.
yeah, sure.
Put some salt and red chili powder.
Kairi.
You love custard apples.
How do you know?
Although this morning we had a worm in one.
Oh no.
But look, the thing about sitafal, and don't even, ramphal doesn't even exist.
Yeah.
Sitafal cannot be gotten in the U.S.
Yeah, I know.
And I've tried really hard. The closest we can get is frozen Atamoya or something that comes close to custard apple from Taiwan, and it's inedible.
Yeah.
So that's really a treat.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can occasionally get chiku. I don't think I've ever had kala jamun, but
Chiku and jamun is like, okay, fine, you can skip.
I'm not a fan of chiku because it sticks to like the top of your.
Chikus are
See,
awesome,
custard
man.
apple.
Oh, I love.
No, but
what is going on?
Chiku
Yeah,
does
nothing
something
wrong
to your
with it.
tongue.
You
like
need different friends. Well, okay.
Chikus are great.
So I started seeing persimmons here.
Yeah. But not a lot of people know what
They
persimmons
don't-
are, and it's very seasonal. I think it comes for a week or 2 weeks.
And there are two kinds. There's the
Okay.
Japanese version and the kind that we get more in Israel. And those are delightful. India's going to do amazing things with persimmons. I'm sure of it.
Yeah, I think people haven't gotten into it because it makes your mouth a bit numb.
Well, it can also be chalky.
Yeah.
Right. So you have to get it. We're having this fruit discussion.
Yeah, I was
we've
just gonna
gone
say,
so
yeah,
deep
like,
into fruit.
we could be talking to you about anything, and this is like.
Well, but I'm obsessed, right?
Yeah.
I mean, one of the
fruits are great.
one of the real reasons to
Yeah.
come to India is you just. I mean, first of all, it's a very funny idea that we talk about Indian food. Do you like Indian food? I don't like Indian food. What the hell are these people talking about? There is so. It's a bottomless
Yeah.
variety of different things. Like I can't even. And it's very funny that we just have this like very narrow range, and we call that Indian food.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm sure butter chicken is. People are
Chicken
asking
tikka
you,
masala.
Chicken tikka
like butter
masala.
chicken.
It's very narrowed down for you all over.
Yeah.
Naan bread.
Yeah,
Naan bread.
right. But like, so we were at this wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That went
same
on
what?
forever.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
I mean, it was ridiculous. I couldn't. The sheer number of different types of food.
That's what I was talking to
Yeah.
them about at the wedding. I was like, this seems like it's too much. Like
It was too much.
How do you choose?
How
Like,
many,
there was
how
no
many
way.
cuisines?
Everything.
Bro,
Everything.
you think of anything, it was there.
Okay.
We found this poor Kashmiri guy off in the corner with his little tea stall, and like he was so removed from everything. We were like the only people who made it out to him because it was just an assault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? It was an assault on your eyes and your tongue, and it was amazing. And this poor guy is like, "This is my Kashmiri tea." He's like, "We'll have 2 cups."
Only 2 cups.
But yeah, I mean, where else in the world do you go and you're handed a menu at the restaurant and it's got like 500 things on it?
The Chinese will do this too.
Okay.
They're
They're always competing. So
Well, but that's the thing. Like Italy and France make each other better.
Yeah.
And when it comes to cheese, when it comes to wine, so you need competition. Otherwise, it's like being the top MMA guy in a division where there's nobody who's good at fighting. Then you can't become a legend. So my feeling is that India needs China to beat.
Yeah, not just in food.
Well, you're gonna have a hard time militarily. I would start with food.
Yeah. One war at a time.
How advanced is China really? Like, I know they're way more advanced than people know and think, but like, what's the...
Well, they steal all our stuff.
Okay, so that's a good...
So they're pretty advanced. I don't know why we let them steal all our stuff.
Have you been to China?
I've been to Hong Kong only.
Okay.
But I very much admire the cunning of the Chinese. And, you know, you can't hate your adversary. You have to understand your adversary first. My feeling about it is China has done a very good job of saying, hey, we'll provide you low-cost workers. We'll call them graduate students. And we'll put them in all the technical subjects, and you can have them practically for free, and they'll just come home and tell us everything that you're doing. And so what China's doing is it's getting the best of 2 different systems. It has a very strong command and control ability to get things done. So it knows how to execute using sort of totalitarian measures.
Yeah.
And it also knows how to use freedom, because the freedom to create exists in the US, and they don't have to deal with the problems of freedom. So freedom is very chaotic. I mean, and you look here.
So they're fully outsourced freedom.
They've outsourced freedom, and we outsourced like execution. And I think it's a terrible deal for us.
Right.
But you've got to admire the Chinese for being extremely shrewd.
Yeah. Like straight to the point. No bullshit.
No, I wouldn't say that. They lie. I had one of the very senior people in China in my home, and he said, I wouldn't get so exercised, Eric. He says, all we do is the back end. We just create what you tell us to do. And I said, you're stealing all our stuff. You realize that I understand what you're doing. Why are we lying to each other? But America's made catastrophic decisions.
Yeah, like I hear things about China and like the things they do with AI. And like I heard things like, oh, you guys are using GPT now. They've had this forever. Like, and it's like they're so much more ahead than everyone else. Which
to what end? We're all going to be super advanced in like 4 minutes. So they get there a little bit first. Are they going to do some kind of attack with their drone swarms from their... First of all, how screwed up are their drone shows?
I haven't seen.
Oh, they're the most beautiful things in the world. You see people doing incredible work with like sculptures of drones and lights, that are as big as a downtown of a city over the city. Perfect coordination.
They've started doing those at Indian weddings now.
Really?
Yeah.
I got.
So Indian weddings are also really advanced. So it's just China and then Indian weddings.
I see. Has there been a nuclear Indian wedding yet?
Soon
Not yet.
enough.
Really?
Because they're leveling up. Like you get clips out of like Udaipur and Jaipur where they have these weddings, and there's like international artists on the lineup, and they've got drone shows, and they've got like crazy.
I've never been asked to dance at an Indian wedding.
No, really?
Yeah. I know.
On stage.
I know SRK has been able to make a good living from showing up, but I never get these offers.
Yeah, I mean, now that you put it out,
we want to see him dancing on the stage.
Yeah, but that's like, so you ask your friends to dance at your wedding. Like you don't obviously pay anyone.
What? Okay. Yeah.
But it's a thing. Like if now my group of boys, they obviously have to do a dance at my wedding. Or
when are you getting married?
Soon, hopefully, maybe a couple of years.
Let's go.
2 years, I'm thinking.
Have we picked out the girls yet, gentlemen?
Girls.
Well, you can't all marry the same girl.
He's talking about himself.
He's talking about himself.
Yeah. I'm the closest to the possibility of getting married, but these guys are like...
We're a lost hope right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Ladies.
How long have you been married?
A very long time.
Like you've stopped keeping count?
No, it'll be 30 years next year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you can't forget that. Can't forget the...
I didn't.
He did.
But you're deflecting. Are you getting pressured to get married?
No, not really. There is pressure for grandkids. Like my grandmom is...
So she doesn't need you to get married?
Okay with you,
No, she wants me to get married
okay.
also.
Yeah.
But the grandkids is a bigger...
Is more important.
Yeah.
She'd rather you have an accident.
But still have the kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, look, I'm hearing things in India that I never thought I'd hear.
Like?
That, people are living together, that premarital sex is being decriminalized, that people don't want children.
Yeah.
That
That's
parents say, I can't push my children. When did this happen? When did it become
a
Who was the
choice?
first Indian parent who said, yeah, whatever they want. Wait, it's none of my business.
I mean, there's probably only like 4. So
What?
there's only like 4 parents.
No, I
who
heard.
ever said
Look,
that.
No, there are a lot.
it's really changed. I'm hearing madness.
Yeah.
Like I tell my children, I said, I understand that you think you're living in 2025 and you think you're living under the laws of the United States and the state of California, but in here, it's 1100 AD and America hasn't been invented, and we're not having any of that.
Yeah.
But then the thing about India right now is you can't just say India. Like, it's not one thing. Like, there's India 1, there's India 2, there's India 3.
What does that mean?
India 1 is like tier 1 cities where there's people who have been like someone who's grown up in Mumbai and has gone to school in Mumbai, gone to college maybe
A
in
metro
Mumbai,
city, basically.
and speaks English and makes good money. Their lives are so much different than someone who's in a tier 2 city who isn't making as much money, and like the way they think, the experiences that they have, it's completely different. It's like 2 different countries.
2?
There's
How do
multiple.
you get 2?
No, I think there's
Dude,
on
it's worlds within worlds within worlds.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
India is
and-
too big to be categorized.
And forgive me for saying, I'm trying to get myself kicked out of your fair country, but in general, I don't think that Italy is a country naturally, and I don't think India is a country naturally. It's there is something to being Indian, but my God, just the complexity of cultures, subcultures, sub-subcultures, all mixed together, distinct, blended. There is more intra-Indian diversity than there really is diversity between India and anywhere else. I just don't grasp this concept of I don't like Indian food. Indian people are like this.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I was trying to say. Like,
But you were saying it at like the level of tier 1, tier 2. That's such a compression to begin with.
I was talking from a more economic,
Sure.
because India, like, I mean, I don't know about other countries, but the way you live life here is heavily dictated by how much money you're making.
But even there, right, you have an Indian-facing elite,
Yeah.
an India-facing elite, and a Western-facing
Right.
elite. That's a huge difference. So, for example, if you have a very rich family whose wealth is tied to Indian industries or hotel groups or land or whatever it is,
Yeah.
to your point about are you do you view Bengali as the highest language or the King's English or
Right.
it's such a distinction even when you're talking about the very rich.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so we know people who are as old as us or as young as us, and we know how they're living their lives. It's mostly West facing. Like, everyone's like inspired by pop culture from the US. They want to go for a Travis Scott show. They want to go and like see all the artists that come. Like, earlier this year there was this NBA event that happened here, and it was like filled with people our age just going to watch.
Why? Okay, I want to know this. Why? Like the West is really at the moment having a moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And were I India, which I'm not, I would be thinking they're going to fumble the ball. This is our moment, guys.
I mean, I think we're getting there, but like that influence by American pop culture is just somehow never going away. Like, we've grown up watching everything from Disney to like
We've watched
like hip hop, music, American Pie, there's movies from there, and it's just like it's kind of inbuilt in our psyche. So I don't think that's ever going away.
Can I play something for you guys?
Sure.
Of course.
What is this?
My friend Greg Sparrow, who's a student of Herbie Hancock, great jazz pianist, I said, you're having these little successes in jazz. You need to be cued into things that have amazing backbones that are understood. You recognize this?
Indian wedding. It's a Indian wedding band.
What?
So,
Sounded familiar.
it's two cheese bari hai must or damas kalandar,
Okay.
right? And it's
With the jazz.
What a groove, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and my claim,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that you say it, we hear it.
Right? You know,
I see what you're.
and like if you just think about the scat at the beginning, you know, like the sarega at the beginning of that, and his vocal flourishes, and the deep groove that won't let you go. You have this bass,
Yeah.
and you're not exploiting it. It's like, well, let me go off. If you think about B.B. King, right? So B.B. King was the great blues guitarist.
Yeah.
Wasn't the fastest, wasn't the flashiest, but he did something that was very unusual, which is he combined major and minor, right? And so if you think about Western music, it's very confined to these two modes, the Aeolian and I don't know what the Lydian. So, you know, like Sa Re Ga Ma Pa Da Ni Sa would be the Lydian major mode. And in Indian music, you've got this great construction where you have two, you don't really have scales because you go up and come down in these two different ways. And so you're mixing constantly major and minor with microtones, all this stuff. You're sitting on top of a gold mine that the world needs right now. And you're listening to like what schlock we're pushing out. I don't grasp this. Why would you do that?
I mean, I think while we look to the West for pop culture, at the same time, in India, people also embrace a lot of things that are Indian. It's like not either or. Right. Like people still love going out and listening to Bollywood music or dancing to Bollywood music at a nightclub.
Yeah.
Like the whole nightclub institution is very Western, but at the same time you're going and listening to Indian music.
Sure. So what I'm trying to say is that if you when I've traveled, I've traveled in places in which Bollywood has had an enormous influence. So, you know, if you're traveling in Indonesia, or, you know, even Russia, like, you know, we were laughing about your poster, Mera Naam Joker.
Yeah.
Raj Kapoor had huge penetration into Russia.
Yeah. Yes. Huge audience.
We've heard.
And my feeling is that a confident artistic India has a lot to say. I mean, look, we just lost the world's greatest drummer in Zakir Hussain. And, you know, I met him in California of all places. I am of the opinion that the world is bored.
Right.
And it needs to learn what it is that you guys do really well.
I feel like he brought it up earlier. The Indian hip-hop scene, we call it the Desi hip-hop scene.
Yeah.
Where it is blowing up in a way where it has all the Indian influences, and it's kind of a mixture of this culture of the West and India, but it's bringing out a massive audience for Indian kids who look up to only these artists, who are Indian artists making this music. So I feel like that's playing a very big part going forward.
We have a lot of rappers on this show, and this is something that I tell them. Before Desi hip hop became a thing, we would listen to hip hop from outside, and they would talk about like someone who is talking about like the hood in the US and the things that they experience. It's like, okay, we would listen to it and we think it's cool, but you would never relate. Right, it was
straight out of Bandra.
Yeah. But then these guys came along and they started making music about how I had this teacher in school who was like, you know, my parents were really hard on me and they asked me to study a lot, or just like I faced I mean, I make it sound.
Why did you get an A minus?
No, it's like pressure from home or like caste discrimination.
Sure.
And I was like, oh, okay. Like this is something that you're like, okay.
Well, what about shame? So I have this theory that right now we're in a worldwide shame fetish.
Okay.
Shame is big.
Okay.
And because social media is so good for shaming people, you can shame people at scale. You can ruin their lives.
Yeah.
Nobody does shame like Indians. So
That is very true.
right?
Yeah. I feel like we're one of the most racist set of people.
Racist.
But-
Race
Yeah.
or just judgmental.
Judgmental for sure.
No, he said racist. Let's
But
trap him.
racist as well.
No, there is a lot of
There's
racism.
a lot of racism within India itself.
Yeah.
And even towards races outside, I feel we're extremely racist. Because if I go on Instagram and I see the comments,
Yeah.
you can just tell that there is. I don't know how.
But Indian racism.
No, anti-India racism.
Well, I've seen this anti-Indian,
Yeah.
and to be entirely honest, I've been traveling with Indians my whole adult life. I'd never encountered this in the wild in the U.S.
Yeah.
No, it's a very, it's like an internet.
It's a new thing.
Yeah.
And I think not all of it is real.
I think not all of it is real, but the fact is it's going to become real because people are being you know, learning to hate is a very interesting concept.
Yeah.
And I also believe that there's a lot of self-hatred in India and a lot of suspicion, and then there's a lot of coming together in ways that be very difficult. You know, particularly in Bombay, where everybody celebrates each other's holidays, and in a weird way, like marriage tends to still be done along your community lines.
Yeah.
But you fraternize very freely with other people.
Yeah.
Although, I should say, at one point, I had a really interesting experience where we held a brunch because we weren't here for very long. And we invited all sorts of different friends. And at the brunch, the subject of communal tensions between Hindus and Muslims came up. I said, you know, are people, because there have been some unfortunate incidents, and I said, so, you know, how are people feeling about this? And it was very strange. Like the Hindus said, yeah, everybody's over it, nobody cares. And the Muslims looked around and said, what are you talking about? And so the weird ways in which we don't talk about things, and we do have lines, we're pretty good up to a point, and then, you know, it's hard to go beyond certain points. I think it's fascinating, and I also think it's fascinating that India is rebasing itself, in some sense, away from these major idealisms that came in around independence.
Yeah.
So one of my shticks is that I believe that all of these major 20th century idealisms are being repudiated. So in my country, it's the Great Society programs of Lyndon Johnson in the mid-'60s, where people are saying, wait, why are we signed up for the Civil Rights Act? Not that we're not up for civil rights, but maybe the act is flawed and it was implemented in ways that had unforeseen consequences. Or in Turkey, the entire concept of the Ataturk cult of secular Turkish state is, you know, Erdogan is showing the fragility of that concept. And India, I think, you know, basically the rise of the BJP,
Right.
and the concept of did India import things that were not Indian, and that India should have had Indian ways of dealing with these things. This is fascinating. The pendulum is going to swing, and we don't really know, in part, where this worldwide repudiation of 20th century idealisms is going to go, particularly in the EU.
Yeah. What is happening there? What is happening in the...
That, you know, there was the sense that we would have a United States of Europe, and that we could, one of my riffs is that Europe is actually one of the most dangerous places on Earth, maybe the most dangerous place. And it's been 80 years, more or less, of peace because of the specter of nuclear weapons. What you're seeing with Russia and Ukraine and Germany, you know, Germany is going to need to shake off the specter of its sort of Nazi shame, because there are going to be no living Nazis shortly. The post-World War II order is falling apart. And just think about all of the things that happened in, you know, the mid to late 40s. It's not small.
Yeah. But how does India play into all of this? Like, where is India at?
Look, the big question in my mind is always, can India possibly get out of its own way?
Right.
And if I had to, again, who wants to hear the visitor saying ridiculous things? But I have been visiting over a long time. It can't fully. There's no way of cleaning this place up.
Okay.
It's going to be madness and chaos for decades, and it may be forever. Who knows? What you can do, though, is you can do extraordinary things in cells. So, for example, if you go to Navy Nagar, that can be ordered in a way that the outside world cannot be ordered. Like TIFR really is a beautiful, beautiful space. And so, in part, one of the questions is, does India, when we say India, and we say, does India get its act together or do something extraordinary? It sort of, does it build cellular compounds that can do things that the country cannot do as a whole? I mean, if you tried to clean up the trash on the streets, one of the things I can't stand when I post something pro-India on social media is people say, is it just wall-to-wall trash? And the answer is that there's a ton of trash. On the other hand, if that's your understanding of this place, I just feel sorry for you. And, India is going to have to, in some sense, leave behind some of its most idealistic hopes for itself. It's not going to be able to clean itself up fully. But it has to unleash its best to do something extraordinary. And quite honestly, if it were me, I would be trying to figure out not how to catch up to Europe and the US. I'd try to figure out what can we do that's different, that's better.
The thing about the cells is so true, even on just like for normal people, like anyone who starts doing well, they try to do everything they can to isolate themselves from the outside world, is whether it's like a fancy society that you live in which has a gym and like a clubhouse, so that you don't have to leave your gated community for anything, and you order things on Blinkit and it comes to your house in 10 minutes. And
yes and no. I mean, look, when I was asked, okay, Eric, you're back here for a week, where do you want to go first? I hesitated to say, and my first stop was Barimia. And, there I am sitting on a plastic chair. Last time there was a giant rat running, under it. But
he's still there. He's still
there. He's still there. He sends his regards. But you're eating on the bonnets of cars, and you're having some of the best bodhi kebabs and sikh kebabs and rumali rotis. It's just like, how is this not one of the great restaurants on earth? And and I admit that another weird distinction, I don't know whether you guys realize, but Kailash Parbat has been franchising all over planet Earth. And so you can now go to Kailash Parbat in Chino Hills, California. But to be honest, let's be honest, the counter downstairs is at a different level than the restaurant upstairs, even on the Pasta Lane store. I don't know why. But the pani puri that guy produces is not duplicated anywhere on Earth. So, am I going to cut myself off from that? I appreciate that they now use filtered water, supposedly. But no, you can't cut yourself off from the street. You can't cut yourself off from the energy, because that's one of the things that's great about being here.
No, for sure. But people try. Like, they're like, I'm going to minimize. Because you go out, the air is dirty. There's trash around. Like, it might, depends on where you live, it might smell. So it's just like, I'm going to try my best to, with people who work from home, people like us, we try to limit our stepping outside to whenever it's absolutely
I'm really
necessary.
glad that you brought this up. I think it's one of the things that people don't understand when they visit, that if they're used to a particular level in the U.S., the way that that's accomplished in India, and again, this is a money-determined, class-determined thing, is that in a city like Bombay becomes a series of interiors. The idea is that the car deposits you through the gate of some other thing, and the interiors are amazing, but there's no way to protect it because, in part, the monsoons.
Yeah.
So all exteriors are punished.
Yeah.
And then there's just, there is the chaos and madness of this many people packed into infrastructure that can't support it.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I mean, I don't know. If I don't walk the Kalava Causeway, I don't feel like I'm here.
Yeah.
That's still one of the better areas, I feel, to walk around in India.
How do you feel about like Muhammad Ali Road and Chor Bazaar?
Yeah, so that's what we're saying. Like when you go there, it's just like so many people.
Yeah, or Crawford Market or something like that.
It just
I don't think I need to go to Crawford Market every time that I'm here anymore. No, and we were just in Delhi. What is it, Chandni Chowk?
Yeah.
And it's too much.
The sheer amount of people.
Well, but also like a lot of the jewelry stores, like the styles that are the most uniquely Indian aren't being favored anymore in a certain sense because people don't want that heaviness. They're not using this is a secret strategy for passing wealth through daughters around sons, around son-in-laws. So whatever's going on here, India is just changing so much, and I don't necessarily want to subject myself to maximum chaos because the maximum chaos is
too much.
It's too much.
Well, it changes who you are.
Yeah.
Because you can't lose yourself in thought because then some guy with a metal, rebar is going to poke through your eye. You have to be. By the way, I'm very interested in what's going to happen with Tesla in full self-driving mode.
Yeah, I can't imagine how that's gonna.
Elon is going to get so much smarter with his AI.
Yeah.
Because what you're going to do is you're going to have expert Indian drivers, of which there are many.
Yeah.
And those tolerances are so fine.
Yeah.
I think you guys are going to end up pushing AI.
Yeah.
Because it's just I have a Tesla with full self-driving mode in the States. It's amazing, but it's not pushed to the.
It's impossible, I feel.
Yeah,
say more.
I feel like, okay, let's say if we're going to a very crowded area, it's not possible for AI to detect. I drive a lot.
Yeah? How do you do it?
Sorry?
How do you do it?
Exactly. So that's the thing. Like just yesterday, I was driving and there was this woman on the sidewalk with her child. And she wants to cross the road and she puts the child ahead of her. Now I can see that. And I'm like, it's just stupid. It's flawed. Like the woman should be on this side and she should at least carry the child. Because it's a very small, it's a toddler. Like he can barely walk. Now I don't think AI is ever going to be able to, I mean it will.
My friend, anything you can do, it will learn from you.
It will learn. But the thing is, there's just so much stimulation at one time.
There's too much happening.
In India, when you're driving, that it's going to be system overload, I feel.
I think you're wrong. I think that India is going to push. I think this is the best data set you've ever seen. I mean, maybe like Saigon. If you've ever been to Saigon, it's madness. There's a very funny video that I once saw with millions of hits, and it's just a camera trained on a Bombay intersection for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
How is this possible? This is fake. No, it's just normal life.
It's India, yeah.
No, AI is going to learn a lot because when a self-driving car comes to India and it comes close to a rickshaw and the rickshaw guy just starts yelling at the car for no reason. So it's going to be a insanely trained data model that's going to come out of this, I feel. Because he's just going to start banging the car in 5 minutes.
Less than that.
Yeah.
And I gave one of the AIs that does music, give me a 1970s Bollywood with way too many violins hit called "I Took a Pill in Malabar Hill," and in Hindi and with a little bit of Marathi. It's pretty good. Yeah. There's nothing this thing can't do. It just if it can watch you, it'll learn, and it doesn't need to understand that there's a woman or a child. It'll just say, well, what did you do?
Yeah, I mean, my scope of AI, the way I've been using it hasn't really gone beyond GPT. but it's just like...
Well, how do you use GPT? Do you use a voice?
No, I dictate what I want to say, but it transcribes and it goes. But then I just talk about anything. Like yesterday, I was like, oh, Eric Weinstein is coming on the podcast. What do we talk to him about? Or just like, I'll send screenshots. If I'm talking to a girl, I'll take a screenshot and I'll send, okay, what's happening here? Like, how do we respond?
Break it down.
Really?
Yeah. That,
a lot of people these days have been using
So you have an AI and she has an AI. And you're both getting coached.
Yeah.
That is happening.
Why don't you just like set your two AIs for Netflix and chill? And then
we've discussed that.
Yeah.
We've discussed that. We were like, should we set them up also? Like,
yeah,
I think
for
they'll
sure.
get along.
You should chaperone.
Yeah, I think it
this
would be
is terrible.
Yeah, I know, right? This is
really bad.
This is really bad.
So I started off. So I was also on this whole thing where I was like, you don't need to talk to AI for every single decision that you make. Like, I think it will hamper your decision-making ability. But then I was like, okay, let me experiment, because I've heard of so many people who use AI as a best friend, as an assistant. Like their AI, like I could text my GPT right now, is like, oh, which girls are we talking to? And they'll know, okay, this girl that you met at this party and this girl. So I used it for a while, and now I'm realizing that, okay, this is a slippery slope and it's not good. So
why don't you ask ChatGPT in voice, I have Eric Weinstein in the studio in Bombay, what is it I should ask him about that he never gets asked?
Okay, let's do it. Okay. I'm sitting down with Eric Weinstein in our podcast studio in Bombay, and we want to ask him something that he never gets asked. Can you help me?
Absolutely. If you want to hit Eric with something he rarely hears, go for a question that flips the usual script. For instance, Eric, you've talked about institutions and the big picture breakdowns a lot, but what's one tiny, oddly personal thing about your own life that's shaped your worldview that people never ask you about? This kind of question invites them to share something personal and unique, not just his usual public theories. It'll
Dude, I
stand
had
out.
that. I was going to ask it in like 10 minutes.
Not bad, right?
I don't know. I feel like I've shared way too much that's personal so far.
I knew his favorite fruit. I mean, it all out there.
No, but it is pretty good. Like when it comes to work and ideation, like I ask for ideas, and I may not necessarily take those ideas, but those ideas will inspire an idea within me, and then I'm like, okay, now that I have this idea, I'll share that idea and I'll tell them this is how I want it, if I need it in a paragraph so that I can send it ahead to someone else. It makes things so much easier.
Let's talk about how screwed you guys are.
Okay.
You guys are so screwed.
In what sense?
Gen Z. I don't know. I mean, I've got Gen Z kids.
Yeah.
And it's astounding the extent to which Gen Z in India parallels in some ways Gen Z in the States. It's like all of these systems are breaking down simultaneously. Obviously, the phone is at the heart of it.
Yeah.
And you guys know what it is that you're, quote, supposed to be doing. You're just not doing it. And you don't really have the abilities to do it. And, you know, of course, this is a new opportunity. Podcasting didn't used to exist.
Yeah.
But, like, your meaning is being attacked. Your meaning complexes are really difficult to build. And many of you are not really plugged in to the past. Like we were talking about this movie, and you know, I said, what was the big song in it? And you guys got it wrong. And it's sad in a weird way that you're not connected to history in a really profound way, because somehow the phone changed everything.
I think there's distraction whenever you want it or whenever you need it. And I could be sitting, I'll talk about myself, I could be sitting and I know, okay, this is exactly what I need to do today. This is what I need to get done. But if I choose to not do it, or if I am looking for a distraction, I can just pick this up and like that's 2 hours gone right there.
What do you think that is?
feel like it's like just dopamine hits.
It's obviously the dopamine and stuff, but it's also like there's this crazy fear of missing out. Where it's like if I'm not online right now, I won't know what's going on.
So what's going on online, man? Like you guys are going to do some online. This thing is going to get released, and then why would you talk to that guy for so long? You know, like it's going to produce all this noise.
Yeah.
But the real life thing is happening now, and then it's going to have this online lingering trail. And you know, my feeling about it is, if you've ever heard people say, "Oh, I'm an alcoholic, I'm a shopaholic, I'm a chocoholic," I always wondered who came up with all of these different addictions. There's no such thing.
Right.
It's one addiction.
Yeah.
And it attaches itself to different objects.
Yeah.
You know, so the idea is that you're a real-aholic, but it's holic that's the common thing. And the fact is that you're having all of these amazing experiences. They just happen to belong to somebody else.
Yeah.
You're living vicariously through the internet.
I mean, like, I've swum with so many sharks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and
it's true though, like what you said, I feel Gen Z is becoming dumber. Even though I feel like we're on the cusp of a millennial Gen Z. We're 98 born.
Yeah.
So we were the last generation to not grow up with phones. Like it came in quite late in our lives.
And the phones that we had didn't have reels, or they didn't have,
the phones that we had like 2G internet. We started with 2G.
Yeah.
So we've seen 2G,
So
3G.
we've had a millennial upbringing. Which is something.
How do you guys think porn impacted India?
Oh, it like still we have made an attempt, like every once in a while we talk about how it's not good, and we try to, like, because for us to have access to porn, it still required some effort. You had to be alone at home, you had to
needed a PC,
you needed a computer,
yeah.
and you needed internet. So it was just like, it wasn't as accessible as it is now. But I can only imagine how destructive it would have been if I had access to it at all times.
Yeah.
Which is what the kids now do.
I think it's an absolute, because we're uncomfortable talking about it, we can't talk about its effects.
Yeah.
And I just see this as being, you know, a giant disaster for young people courting. Yeah. And, you know, next to porn is this issue of, so OnlyFans, for example, in the U.S., has blurred the distinction between being in the industry and not in the industry.
Yeah.
And then the other one is seeking arrangement, which blurred the distinction with prostitution.
Yeah.
And so, roughly speaking, we've mainstreamed pornography and prostitution in the U.S. as quasi-normal activities.
Yeah. And it's happening in India also.
Really?
Like OnlyFans-esque models.
It has a different name.
Yeah, there's different
What's it called?
names, and I don't know.
We don't have an OnlyFans in India.
No, but there are other things like.
But I assume you can get
Yeah.
access to
Yeah.
it.
There are things that are similar, maybe not as explicit, but like that thing happens.
It's
like
on the
there's,
verge of like an OnlyFans.
like online video chat and where you
Yeah.
pay and you can.
So, how do you guys think you get out of all of these problems? Are you going to get married, do you think? Do you think you're going to have children? Do you think you want children? What happens next?
So, I've always wanted children, but then obviously I've also had phases when I'm like, nah, like who wants to get married and who wants kids? But then, like, when I think about it practically, it's one of those things like, what are you gonna do after 50? After you're 50 years old, after you've made money, like
They move out anyway, man.
yeah, but then you still have something that you're invested in,
Yeah.
and then it's eventually
Well,
grandkids.
I'm shocked by how much our children moving out has rocked our world.
Okay, say more.
You know, my feeling about it is that the one thing that Americans do really poorly is family.
Yeah.
And there's something to be said for not moving around, not sending your kids off to the four corners of the earth, having larger families, making a big deal about the oldies.
Yeah.
so that getting older is not just getting weaker and dumber and less capable, but it's also rising in prestige. And you're going to lose all of that. You're going to wait, you're going to defer your fertility, you're going to have smaller families, and you're not going to be able to sustain this amazing culture.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to do about that. I can see, I sort of thought, well, India will continue to understand. If you look at, for example, Israel as a counter, Israel still has a pretty high birth rate.
Yeah.
And being about something, particularly in a moment where the world has gone stupid about Israel and all sorts of anti-Israel hate is everywhere and driven by propaganda in most cases, they feel very embattled, but they know who they are.
Yeah.
And in large measures, I think it's really important that Gen Z assert itself and say, we're not falling for all of this nonsense.
I believe that it will reverse at some point.
Really?
Yeah. I feel like we'll go all the way south and then people will, okay.
How do you think dependency ratios work? So in other words, you have old people supported by many young people economically in a pyramid. And so what happens when you have, like China's one-child policy and you have a lot of old people and very few young people. Then you have to enslave the young, which is bad.
I don't feel this will ever happen though.
No, I can see it reverse. Like if you're talking about relationship trends, so like we went all the way to how it's cool to be like detached.
Yeah.
Like people were practicing detachment, and even when it comes to relationships, like in Gen Z, commitment is a big deal. Like
you can't even think about being in a relationship. It's always.
So that's why we have terms like situationships and like we've come up with new terms to define every.
You think you invented all this stuff?
I mean, it just didn't have a name. I'm sure it existed.
Oh, what about contract marriage?
That still exists.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There were a lot of things that you aren't exactly told about.
Yeah, exactly. It just got popularized by these kids.
Yeah, but the point I was trying to make is like we went all the way there, and now I am seeing people like slowly coming back. It's like, okay, that was like, we need to be, like there needs to be room for romance, and love is still a thing, and you want to be with a partner.
Do you believe in it?
In what?
What you just said.
Love and romance.
Love?
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Well, you say, of course, I don't know.
Yeah, but I'm saying
yeah.
No, I think there is a lot. There's a lot of merits to being with one person and building a life together, and eventually building a family. I think if it's done well and if it's done right, the problem is most people can't do it right, and it doesn't end up well, and that also discourages other people from doing it. But I think there is a way to do it right if you are dedicated. I think it can end up being great for you. Like I have a good relationship with my parents, and like I'm grateful for the way.
Your parents are Indian?
No,
they're Persian.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But then I think Indian and Persian parents are alike in many ways.
There's a lot of parallels for sure.
Yeah. But then, I'm saying it's something that I would like to work towards, and I think if it's done well, it will it'll do more good for me than bad.
Yeah, I think that one of the things is you guys are entitled to illusions. Mm-hmm. And I think that one of the problems with authenticity is that you don't recognize the way in which illusions are necessary for scaffolding.
Okay.
So that, if you have beliefs that aren't really true or really real, you can find that if you incorporate them into your psyche, that you end up building a reality that it sort of makes them true in arrears. So you assume something that wasn't true, like the whole concept of the one.
Yeah.
If you believe in the one, you might meet a random person and make her into the one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Even if she
projecting.
But that thing becomes true later.
Okay.
And so the idea is that if you don't have room for illusions, then you can't actually build these ideas. And so in part, one of the things that I hope for you guys is that, you know, you stay off the cynicism of Reddit or whatever.
Yeah.
And you're entitled yourselves to some positive illusions on which to scaffold your lives.
Yeah, I think that's the way to do it, because otherwise, if you're going to be like super practical and logical about everything, I'm like, oh, the one doesn't exist. It's just a chemical reaction in your brain, and
It's a hell of a chemical reaction.
Yeah,
right?
and then love isn't real, and I don't think that will end up well for you.
Yeah,
like you'll
cheat yourself. Too much awareness and cynicism.
Yeah,
you have to be willing to be fooled in order to have a good life.
Yeah,
you do. Let me ask you a question. How did this episode go? Was this normal? Not normal?
What do you mean?
How much? Well, first of all, how much do you guys do these in English versus Hindi?
It's
mainly in English.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
English is like our first language.
Okay.
For us, our thoughts come in English, so it's just easier to communicate in that.
Good. So I
Yeah.
don't feel guilty. And then, and how often do you guys talk to somebody from outside of the cool young Indian ecosystem?
Not as often. Most of our episodes, at least this year, have been just us with no guests.
Oh, no guests.
Yeah, like we just talk
I cracked
about.
the inner sanctum.
I mean, we have each other, and we always have things to talk about, so it's easy to do episodes with no guests. But yeah, not as often. But we do enjoy these conversations a lot when we have different perspectives. And like with this episode, we went into it thinking. Yesterday, I sat down to do research because we also planned it quite like last minute.
Never do research.
But then 10 minutes into the research, I was just like, this is a person that I can probably talk about anything to. So I'm just going to treat this as if you've come home to sit down with us, and we'll just talk and we'll see where it goes. And
You guys are great at what you do. So
Why would you say never do research?
Well, no, it's not that.
Okay.
Because it gets too formal.
yeah.
You know? And what people really seem to enjoy in some sense is the lost art of conversation. If we're all on our screens, like all four of us could be lost in Stupid Town.
Yeah.
And this forces us into going back into that other thing. And, you know, it's funny because I listen to this stuff and I get lost in it when other people are doing it. And I just think one of the things I'm very hopeful when I was excited to do the podcast is that I live in Los Angeles, and it doesn't have the best intellectual reputation. And a lot of the smartest people in the world live in LA.
Yeah.
It's an undiscovered gem of thought, and I think it's an intellectual hub. And I think in a certain sense, so is Bombay. But in Bombay, the finance, the entertainment, the chaos, the business overwhelm this.
Yeah.
And so it's just what a treat also to be able to plug into something that isn't ancient and old, and that you guys are doing as the vanguard. I have no idea whether people are listening outside of India, but I'm very curious as to whether this gets picked up.
Yeah, I mean, it's the reason that we do this and we will keep doing this is like we don't want to lose. Like it's one of our favorite parts of the week where we just like come and sit down and we get to talk to so many people, and it's like I don't think I'm ever going to stop doing this, because how else am I going to have people like you come here and sit and talk to us for a couple of hours, you know? So, and I think a lot of good things come out of conversation.
Have you guys reached out to the trigonometry people, given that you're the untriggered? Maybe the two of you annihilate each other into a shower of photons or something. So Constantine Francis, if you're out there, you should check these guys out in their podcast.
I hated trigonometry when I was in school. I just didn't get it.
You love geometry though.
No.
hate geometry.
Last night I called up one of my closest friends.
Yeah.
So he used to always teach me math when we were in school. And I told him, you're on. I'm like, can you teach me about geometric unity? He's like, how do you expect me to explain everything to you? But I think he did a pretty good job in 1 hour's
You
time.
thought we were going to be speaking about
Yeah.
geometry.
I wanted to.
What is wrong with you?
Then he taught me about the 14-dimensional manifold.
Now we're
that you're
talking
about.
right at the end.
Right at the end.
Tune in next time when Eric returns to Bombay.
Dude, I have one last question before we wrap. As a mathematician and a geometer, can you explain to me what the ending of Interstellar was? Like, what happens at the end?
I don't know. I think that was Kip Thorne at Caltech playing with a very large budget of Christopher Nolan. I don't really know what happened. I forget.
What is your take on what happened?
Well, look, the big problem is, do you accept Einstein's model as reality? Which I do not.
Yeah.
I think there's this issue familiar from psychedelics. The map is not the territory. Einstein's theory is the map of reality, but it's just like any map, like a Mercator projection. It's a distortion at the places where it doesn't work very well. So near the poles, that flat map of the world pays its ultimate price. And I believe that this was an attempt to talk about, time travel and dimensional crossings within an Einsteinian framework. And to be honest, I'm not that interested. I think that we've been Albert Einstein is my ultimate hero, but we've been in his prison. He's our jailer. And so, as I sometimes say, the solar system is an escape room.
Yeah.
And the number one priority on planet Earth is to figure out, can we get out of the solar system?
Right.
Because you can't do it with chemical rockets. It's not going to lead to anything. And so my belief is that geometric unity is our best hope of making meaning of the end of Interstellar. But I believe that Kip Thorne probably accepted the yoke. Maybe it's a spinning black hole or, an Einstein-Rosen bridge, but I didn't pay it too much attention.
Okay.
Do you enjoy movies like that?
Somewhat. I liked Arrival. But I don't see many movies any longer that really move me. And that's why, the Kung Fu Panda thing was so profound, is that it was hidden as if it was a children's film, but it was an absolutely deep exploration of the human learning process, disguised as a cartoon. I would be very up for more films that hid their payload in a vehicle that's missed by most people. And we don't do that enough. And I think science fiction is fun. I guess the three-body problem is probably the thing that moved me the most, and whether or not we've stagnated physics, because physics is just too dangerous.
Right.
Which we should try to talk about next time if you guys are up for it.
100%.
Next time I'll have to do research then for the next one.
Call your friend. Just some
I think a couple of kingfishers was all the research we need.
Okay, before we go, do you have any advice to the Indian kids who might be watching this?
Know that what you're going through here is being experienced all over the world. If you're feeling disconnected, if you're feeling failed, if you're feeling like you can't get your bearings, you can't make meaning, know that it's happening everywhere on Earth. Stop looking outside of India. You have everything you need right here. Obviously, the phone is not a phone. We don't know what it is. It just rewires our minds in ways that we don't understand. And consider having kids. Really, I'm just going to say, I have one of the most interesting lives on Earth. I get to talk to the coolest people. I get to think about the coolest stuff. Nothing competes with bath time with your own kids. It just doesn't. So prioritize that. And remember that the party of your 20s and 30s comes to an end, and don't stay too long at that party.
You gotta know when to leave.
Don't wait till the bitter end.
You should tell them to
at
leave
some
the party.
point after the second, third after party, you should go home.
Well, that's why I look forward to 3 weddings in the near future, ladies.
We're gonna have you dance at least one of those.
Thank you so much. This was a lot of fun.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you.
You're always welcome to come back the next
You're very
time
kind.
you're here. Thank you so much. Fun.